Hi guys, it's Anjali here and I'm here today to talk about the Supermodel of the Year audition, which is happening right now and has been going on for the last 2 months. So a lot of you have been asking me questions about how the audition process goes, what they're looking for, how to speak, what to wear, and all that. So I'm going to tell you about my audition process and what the whole thing was like, and then I'm going to answer your questions at the very end of this video. So make sure to watch till the end, like, share, and subscribe, and thank you for watching. All right, so when I auditioned for Supermodel, what was it like? It was 2 years back in 2019. It feels like yesterday because of the COVID lockdown, but it was 2 years. I remember that I heard about the audition from my agency. So I was in an agency called Cocoberry, and I got the requirement for this audition from them, and I was like, is it a good thing? Is it a big thing? Because I didn't hear that it was MTV and they were calling it Supermodel of the Year. So I was like, what's this? You know? And as a matter of fact, the same people messaged me on Instagram and they were like, hey Anjali, can you come for a meeting at this and this place? And this is for a new TV show called Supermodel of the Year. So I asked my agency, I was like, is this a good show? You know, is it worth going for? Is it safe? What kind of a show is this? So my agency told me, okay, it's like INTM and they're calling it a different name. So I was like, okay. So basically I went to the office and I remember I wore high-waisted jeans with, I think, a black spaghetti. I either wore jeans or shorts. I don't remember. Could have been shorts actually. I think it was white shorts. Okay, so I wore white shorts with the black spaghetti and I had this cool white shrug that went all the way to the ground. And I wore some high heels and of course my shades, and I left my hair open. So I have like nice naturally wavy hair, so I left it open and did a very simple makeup like this, and I would have made the lip a little more light. Maybe I'll show you this in another video. So I did very natural makeup and I wore bigger hoop earrings than this. Nowadays I'm wearing small ones. And I remember I went to the MTV office in Andheri and I came to this tiny little room. It was like a little cubicle. And I remember one of the directors walked in. So it was an older guy and he had white hair and he was a little bit quiet and he was like, hey, so Anjali, there's this show and you know, I have this phone here and I want you to tell me about yourself. And I'm gonna ask you a few questions. Just speak into the phone and tell me, you know, from your heart what you wanna say. So I've had some experience with public speaking and all, so I was like pretty confident. But I just want to give you guys some tips on your audition and what to say, okay? So a lot of people have asked me, is the Supermodel audition like Miss India? You know, if you know those Miss India pageants and Miss Diva, and a lot of you guys who are watching this may have tried for Miss India or Miss Diva. So you were asking like, are the questions that they ask similar, and should our answers be similar to pageants? My answer to that would be no. So in pageants, and I've been a part of Miss India as well, when you speak in a pageant like Miss India, every question they ask you, you have to put a very good perspective on that question. So if they ask me, you know, what is your goal in life in Miss India? I would say something like, my goal in life is to see other people grow and to make a difference in this country, and you know, my goal in life is to use my voice to give other women courage and blah blah blah, right? So that is something I would say in a pageant like Miss India, because you're going to represent a country or a state and you need to show your care for that country, etc. So pageants are all about who you are inside, taking care of society and your community, and being a very nice, sweet girl, okay? So Supermodel of the Year is nothing like Miss India. So just scratch that out of your mind. Do not give pageant questions on the audition. Again, do not give pageant answers on the audition, okay? So in Supermodel, if they ask me, what is my goal in life? I may say, you know, I really love to perform. So I just want to give my 100% every day and do all I can to create great work. And I want to be remembered for the kind of work that I do, because I just love being on camera and I just love performing for a big audience, okay? So I think that is something that I said in the Supermodel audition. So that is the difference between a Miss India answer and a Supermodel of the Year answer. In Miss India, you're going to give a very sweet perspective on society. You're not going to sound competitive. You're not going to want anything for yourself. But in a supermodel show, you're allowed to be competitive. You're allowed to say, yes, I want to win and I'm going to compete with all of the girls and I don't care. I just want to win. Okay, so in Supermodel, just please be yourself from your heart. You know, everyone has a story of what you've been through, how you've struggled to just become a model or to get your first photo shoot. So, you know, we all have a story where we've come from, and they want to hear that. They want to hear what makes you special. They want to hear what makes you a strong person. And they want to know, why are we going to put you on TV for the whole nation to watch when there's 1,000 girls with a pretty face, right? So Supermodel is not about having a pretty face. It's about having a personality, being able to work hard, creating amazing work, and having a story that can inspire other people, okay? So I remember, back to my audition story, I was standing in the room and I somehow have trained myself not to feel nervous in front of a camera. So when I look at the camera, I forget who else is watching and I can just speak to the camera. So for those of you watching this, if you don't feel that confident, please start working right now. Put your phone or stand in front of a mirror and talk into the screen and say whatever is on your heart. You know, tell a joke, you can try some posing, but I just want you to feel more confident about yourself in front of a camera lens or in the mirror, okay? So that is something for you to do today. If you don't feel confident speaking to the camera, put on your camera right now and just start speaking. You know, and that's a good exercise for you to get confident in front of a camera, in front of an audience, or as a model, okay? So I remember I stood in front of this director's camera and I'm smiling. You know, I don't want to be nervous. I don't want to look like I have a huge attitude. So I'm smiling at him saying, yes, sir. Okay, sir, no problem. And they like an attitude like that, okay? And be nice to everyone in that MTV office, even the guy who brings you chai, even the guy who takes your name at the desk, because you don't know who these people are. Maybe they're going to watch you. Maybe they're going to say something to the director like, hey, she was like this, she did this. So be nice to everyone. And you should do that anyways, okay? So I remember speaking to him. He was like, hey, Anjali, what's your name? Where are you from? What nationality are you? Why do you have this accent? So I remember I spoke all that to him. And then he was like, but you don't speak Hindi. Is that a problem? Or, you know, what's the story of you not speaking Hindi? So I had to say, you know, sir, I come from South India and I really want to learn Hindi. And, you know, I've been trying for many years. I've been doing auditions for many years in Hindi, even though I don't speak Hindi, and I'm just really, really willing to work on it because I love this industry so much. So I said something like that, and he told me, Anjali, how hard will you compete to be a part of this show? So then I said something about how competitive I was. I was like, well, sir, you know, I'm super competitive and I don't let anything stand in my way because I love modeling so much and I wanted to be on a top model show since many years. I saw Germany's Next Top Model and I wanted to be on the show since I was 16. So I told them, sir, I'm willing to just work very hard and I love the camera and I've been performing since childhood. So if I get this opportunity, it would be, you know, my dream and I will give my 100%. And I told him like that. So then he told me, Anjali, do you have any hobbies or anything? And you know, an interesting way, guys, to see if somebody's enjoying your audition is see their face from the corner of your eye. Don't just suddenly look, obviously, if you're on the camera, but notice the energy around you, right? Are people smiling at you? Are they listening to you? And see, okay, by that you can know if you're doing a decent job. So this director was smiling like, you know, and I knew, I was like, okay, he's liking it. So keep going, Anjali, don't stop. So he told me, Anjali, what are your hobbies? So I said, sir, I work a side job in Mumbai as well. At that time, I was working as a singer at ITC. So I said, sir, I love singing as well. And I do singing as a side job in Mumbai and it's a passion of mine. So he was like, really? Sing something for me. So of course I was like a little, okay, what do I do? I've not practiced, blah, blah, blah. But I'm still smiling. I'm like, okay. And to buy myself a little more time, I was like, sir, do you have any favorite songs? What do you want me to sing? And he was like, so you know all the songs? And I'm like, yes, sir, I know all the songs. So he said, you sing anything you want. So I sang I'm Yours by Jason Mraz, and I remember I was singing and I started flicking and I'm smiling into the camera and I'm not looking at anyone else, but I'm interacting with the camera and I'm putting on a little show, you know, a little a cappella show. And the director loved that. I could see on his face, he was like, and there I knew this is good. So I went home and I had a good feeling in my heart, like, okay, I've done a good job. And this meeting was like just 10 minutes, okay? So then, you know, I think about 2-3 weeks passed. So the whole selection process for me, it took more than 1 month. So I was either gonna do Supermodel of the Year or I was going to do Miss Diva, but Miss Diva didn't work out for me. So I just was like, okay, let's focus on the Supermodel show. I didn't know what it was. So I remember about 2-3 weeks later, the MTV team had one person that was in touch with me. So this guy was like, Anjali, can you please come for another meeting at the office? And he gave me a different address now. So I remember on that day, I wore high-waisted jeans that were very nicely fitting on me. And I wore a black spaghetti strap and I carried like a nice little purse. And again, nude makeup like this. And I went. And I remember I was sitting on a balcony and I had some chai. I was watching the city. You know, I was ready to again answer questions. And now 2 people from the MTV team came and they sat with me on this balcony. And one was a girl, one was a guy, and they had a long list of questions and the girl had a laptop on her lap. So they said, Anjali, nothing to be nervous of. We're gonna ask you a few questions, so get comfortable. And whatever's in your heart, just speak to us. So I'm like, okay, some more questions, you know, but I was just prepared to give an interesting answer and to give a truthful answer. So I don't remember everything that they asked me. They asked me what brands I've worked for, so I told them all the brands I worked for. They asked me what my age is, so I told them my age. They asked, have you been a part of any pageants or any shows prior to this? So I told them I've been in Miss India. And then I remember they asked me, did they ask you to change anything about your looks in the Miss India pageant? So I was like, no, they liked everything. So they were like, of course, you're perfect. One of them said that. I was like, yeah, whatever, okay. I remember she asked me, is that your real eye color? And I was like, yes. And they asked me, do you have a boyfriend right now? So I said no, because at the time I didn't have. So they were like, tell us about your ex. And I was like, how does this have to do with the show? So I told them, yeah, he was a nice guy and blah, blah, blah. I told them the things I didn't like about him as well, but I didn't say his name. And they were like, are you comfortable with talking about him on the show? And I said, no, I'm not really comfortable with talking about personal things. So they said, okay. What else? So then they asked me, you know, are you okay with a very tight schedule? Because on the Supermodel show, we have a very tight schedule. So immediately I spoke back and I was like, of course. So basically I've been modeling for 2 years and I'm constantly traveling every month, at least 4 times. I'm traveling out of the state to do fashion shows or photo shoots. So I told them we have like 6 a.m. call times and 3 a.m. call times. So I'm very comfortable with, you know, like long working hours, and I'm comfortable with doing a large amount of changes also. And I've done acting, I've done ramp walk, and I've done photo shoots. So they like to hear how much you've done in your modeling profession, because even though this show is about modeling, it's kind of about who's the supermodel among you guys. So they are looking for some kind of experience in you if you're coming as a model. So at least have your portfolio done, at least have done a few ramp shows, show that you've done something, because they don't want somebody to come who doesn't know how to ramp walk or doesn't know how to pose. So a few basic things you need to put in place, like you need to be a little experienced to have a good chance of being selected. But a few girls had little or no experience and they got selected in the show as well. So even though maybe you're not experienced, maybe you don't have a portfolio, don't give up. Just put in your application, and if you don't get selected, work right now on your portfolio, on your work experience, join an agency, start acting and doing TVCs, and next year when the show comes, sign up again, okay? So that's what I would do. And honestly, the show is such a lovely experience just to be a part of it. So really, if you get to do it, no matter how hard you work to get there, it's really worth it. So what else? they asked me like a few things, like, what are your insecurities? What are you insecure of? So, I had no insecurities at that time because, if you're a model, you kind of have to be so confident on camera that you can't be focusing on your insecurities. But I knew they were looking for something like, okay, what makes you like everyone else? So I was like, okay, so when I was a kid, I used to get bullied for being skinny a lot. And I was like, I had a best friend who was beautiful, and I was like the skinny, ugly kid through school, through college. So that really, really affected me, and I had like to build confidence over a long time. And so they noted that down. And then I said, also I had very big ears when I was a kid, and all through my teenage years, I was very conscious of having just huge ears, and it really bothered me. But I said, I just told myself I'm going to overcome all these fears that I have. So even certain members of my family, my relatives, they did not support my modeling career. And they were telling me, give up, get a normal job. And I had a lot of pressure to give up on my modeling career, both physical and just pressure from people around me. But it didn't cause me to give up. And I told them, all about the struggles I've had in Mumbai, like taking buses, taking trains, rushing to my auditions after my office. So they liked to hear a story. They liked to hear that I was really, really working to be a model, and that I really, really was willing to work hard. So of course, I don't want any of you guys to give a story like mine because you think you're going to get selected. But I want you to take the real things that you've been through, and what makes you who you are, the kind of struggles you've been through, how hard you're willing to work, your best experiences, your happiest moments. And I want you to speak from your heart without making up anything. So just speak from your heart and speak confidently. So I was saying on Instagram as well, I want you guys to speak confidently. If you notice the way I'm just looking into the camera, I'm not even looking away or looking down or anything. And just move your hands normally. Don't move it in a very strange or nervous way. And this is how you speak to a camera or to a judge or to someone who's asking you a question. You have good eye contact and you just smile and you speak from your heart and speak loudly, okay? Don't be like, yes, actually, don't do that, okay? Just speak normally, and on camera, you need to speak a little more loudly. So that is a tip I can give you for public speaking, okay? So they asked me all these questions. I think they asked, what was your happiest moment? So I told them some happy moment. They told me, I think they asked me when was my first kiss. They asked me just some random icebreaker stuff. They asked me, have I ever had like a big disappointment in my life or a tragedy? So I spoke about that. And then at the end of this conversation, they told me, do you have any questions for us? So I was like, no, not really. I'd love to be a part of the show. And I was like, the only question I have is, are there going to be any dangerous tasks on this show? Because I've watched INTM and I know that there are a lot of dangerous tasks, and I don't think my parents would be comfortable. I said that, and I said, and also, are there any bold scenes or bold photo shoots? Because I don't feel I or my parents would be comfortable. And this time, maybe they weren't aware of the show, or maybe they just weren't aware of the plan of the show. They said nothing dangerous, nothing bold. You're going to be walking a ramp and doing modeling stuff. So I said, cool, then count me in. So that was my second interview. And again, about 1 or 2 weeks passed. And then I got a message that said, Anjali, you're basically selected for the show. Now you have a final meeting. So wear something nice and come to this final meeting. And now you're meeting the MTV team. So I was like excited, and I was like, only on the third meeting did I think, oh my God, it's actually happening, and I didn't even get a confirmation yet. So I had not shopped any wardrobe. I still was working normally. I was still doing all my photo shoots and my fashion shows, and I was living life normally. So that's a good attitude to have, is don't put your heart and your soul into the MTV audition, and don't even put your heart and your soul into the show. Like, this is the only thing I have to win. Don't do that, okay? Just go with a very positive mind. Like, if it happens, it's great. If it doesn't happen, okay, it didn't happen. Don't take it too hard on yourself emotionally, because then you can get emotionally scarred if something doesn't work out. So just have a very positive attitude, like, I'm going to do my best and let the universe figure everything else out. Like, I'm not going to over stress and get anxiety and all that. So on this last meeting, it was quite funny because again, I wore jeans and like a nice fitted top and did some little bit of an extra glam makeup. And I remember I was wearing gloss, but I sat down in the office and someone came up to me and they were like, Anjali, these are very, very big people you're going to meet. Go home and change right now. And they told me to wear like a nice cocktail dress. They were like, because what they're gonna see now, how you're gonna look on TV. And these are the people that are deciding the show. So go home, change, and rush back. So thankfully the office was 5 minutes from my house. I went home, wore a cocktail dress, added some more glam to my makeup, and I just rushed, you know? And I was feeling like, and they told me do something to your hair. So I remember I like pulled it back and I did something and I went. And you know, I got into the office and there was like 15 people sitting inside, and I'm at the head of a very long table and they're all looking at me. And I was like, oh great, you know? So it was like a little awkward, but I didn't let it affect me too much. So again, I kept it in my mind. I was like, you sit, you make eye contact with everyone, and you speak confidently. So again, sat down, and there was one main lady asking me questions. So mostly I looked at her, but you know, I made sure to make eye contact with everyone else as well, because eye contact is a very powerful thing in public speaking. It makes somebody listen to you and think, okay, maybe let's take this girl into our show. Okay, so always make eye contact, speak with a smile, and speak normally, okay? So this one lady asked me a few questions, like again, you know, how is your schedule? And she asked me a few cute things about myself, like, what do you feel about the way you look? Is there something you would change? Have you ever been teased for your body weight, etc., etc.? You know, have you ever had a boyfriend? They just ask these questions to make a conversation, you know, to see if you're going to hide something, if you're going to be oh so conservative. They want somebody who can just talk, you know, to the camera. Of course, don't talk nonsense, but just speak. You know, if I was like, no, I don't want to talk about this, no, I'm not comfortable with this, I'm not comfortable with that, it becomes a problem, because then on the show, you may cause some trouble there as well. So, you know, if you're getting into a supermodel show, just go with an open mind and try to do your 100% best. And unless you feel something is super wrong, just be there. Like, it's an experience, right? And everything, you've seen the show, you know how it is. Mostly everything was a wonderful experience, okay? So that was my audition process, and that's the way that I reacted to everything I was asked and told. And then I think 2 weeks later, I was given a confirmation, and 3 days before the show, I got a list of what to carry in my bag. So that was 3 days before the show, okay? And I remember I had saved 25,000, and that was all that I had, because I'm living alone in Mumbai. My parents are like, you take care of yourself, you know, and you try this out, you try this modeling for some time. So I had 25K on me, and going into the show, you don't get paid for being in the show unless you're in the top 3, okay? I think unless you win the show, you don't get paid at all. So I was, in my mind, I'm thinking, I'm not going to earn for 30 days. The time of shooting the show is around 30 days, okay? So I kept it in my mind that I'm not going to earn for 30 days. What do I do? Now, I had a few payments coming into my account, and I just thought to myself, I'm like, I'm going to use everything that I have to buy my outfits, because by now I was 100% selected. So I decided to do something very rash, and of course, please don't do this. It's all that I could do at that time, because I didn't have the stuff they asked me to carry. So I told myself, I'm going to spend this whole 25K. I'm going to be in the show for 30 days, and I'm going to get paid sometime in the middle of the show for my other work. So by the time I come out of the show, again, I'll have something for myself. So literally, I spent everything that I had. I shopped, I packed a big suitcase, and I carried a few other small bags as well. And thankfully, a friend of mine who's a stylist helped me to put together all my looks. So that's how I got into the show, and that was the whole process for me. Okay, so Now I'm going to answer you guys' questions very, very quickly. You've asked some interesting questions. Then I'm going to close this video. And in the next video, coming very, very soon, in a few days, I'm going to talk about what it was like inside the show, what you should be prepared for, and also the kind of outfits and things you should carry with you and all that, okay? So now I'm going to answer your question. Okay, so somebody's asked, do you need to be beautiful to be selected? Modeling is not about being beautiful. It's about having interesting features and being able to work with the camera and work in front of an audience. So if you notice, they took girls into the show who had uneven features. So they took me even though my ears were very big. One of the girls had a scar on her face. Some of the girls were tall, some of them were short. Not everyone was super, super thin. So modeling is not about being perfect or about being thin or about being fair. It's about having a personality and being able to work with the camera and with an audience, okay? So yes, you don't have to be fair to get selected. You don't have to be beautiful, but you have to work on yourself and, you need to be very presentable to an audience. Someone's asking, what is the maximum height for the show? I think there's no maximum height. Minimum height, I think, is 5.6. Now, guys, I just want to mention everything that I'm saying is from my experience. This year, they might have changed some things. So whatever they ask you, if you've applied, just go with an open mind, be confident, and just listen to what they're asking you, okay? Don't take something that I say and be like, no, it's this way because Anjali said so. This was 2 years ago, so I'm sure now they've changed a lot of things, okay? All right, somebody's asking me how to get attention through the audition. I am not an attention-seeking person. Like, I won't give drama and be like, oh, my family did this, oh, this happened to me, oh, this. I'm not like that. I will not cry in front of the camera to get attention. I will not give some sob story and some this and some that. So I wouldn't really word it like how to get attention. But I told you, just be confident, okay? Whatever you're saying, even if you're saying, I feel that I'm ugly, even if you're saying, I've had a struggle story, even if you're saying, hey, I'm going to defeat all the other girls in the show because I'm so confident. Whatever you want to say. Just do it confidently and have some humility in your attitude as well. Because if you notice, Manila, something the judges loved about her was that she was always like, yes, ma'am, hello, sir. And she never gave a big attitude. Whereas there was one girl on the show who started picking fights with Malaika on the set. And Malaika said, why is she here? Let's kick her out. So, if you come with a big attitude thinking, oh, I'm such a great model, I'm so good looking, I'm going to win, you'll get a surprise, okay? So this show is all about, the unexpected, and they're making a story. So just flow with that story and show your own beautiful self, show who you are, and you never know what's going to happen. But the minute you get too much attitude or you get too overconfident, things start happening. Because you have to remember that the judges on the show and the directors, they are all industry people. So they know who's overconfident. They know who's very proud. They know. So you don't have to boast about yourself. Let your actions speak for you. Let your talent speak for you. And I think that's going to be a big thing. Someone is asking when the show is starting. I've heard that it's starting sometime in May because of the COVID rise in Mumbai. And apparently one of the judges has COVID. So yeah, it is going to be starting sometime in May, maybe June now that there's a lockdown. So for those of you who still want to apply, there is actually a chance. But I've heard that by now they're looking for models. So by now they are looking for people with actual modeling experience and a good, strong profile. So if you're that person and you're watching this video, you could maybe write to me on Instagram, and I may know 1 or 2 people, but that we'd have to see, okay? Somebody's asking, do they take freshers? They do sometimes consider freshers. Like, I think that Manila and Yukti were kind of freshers, like they hadn't walked in Lakme or, for any big designers. So I think that they do consider freshers, but you need a story, you need an interesting face, you need some camera experience. Someone is asking, how do the top 10 get selected? It's a huge process. As you guys know, you all sent your videos and your intro to the Voot, to that link on Voot. So thousands of girls are sending their, their details and stuff. And how the top 10 are getting selected is that the most interesting people who are going to compete and give good content and give a good story, they're going to get selected. Somebody's saying, what kind of pictures do we need to give to get selected? You need to give professional modeling pictures. So guys, I was going to say this at the end of the video, but let me say it now. When I did the show and I auditioned, one thing that really got me that part was that I had done a lot of ramp and a lot of photo shoots. So they loved the fact that I had a lot of work to see. So I got 2 or 3 emails asking for all of my photo shoot and ramp pictures and my ramp walk video. And by the time I got into the show, I had already walked for Manish Malhotra twice, and I had done big TVCs and big ads. So the MTV team loved that about me, that I had a very strong profile and my pictures were good, my ramp walk was good, and they knew, okay, this girl, if we give her a task, she can do it because she has that experience. So I would say to you guys, they are looking for at least a little bit experienced models. So if you are not experienced today, or if you don't have a portfolio, what you can do right now is start looking for an agency, start creating your portfolio, and get into a good agency in the city that you are. And you know that agency is going to give you work and they are going to make your portfolio strong. So when you apply for Supermodel next time, you're going to have a lot of pictures to show and a lot of ramp walk, etc. to show. So yes, they do want some kind of experienced models because this is about supermodels. This is not about just being a model, right? So they do want experience, some camera experience, ramp experience, and all that. So make sure to keep saving the work that you've done and keep creating beautiful pictures and keep walking in fashion shows. It doesn't have to be some major brand or some major designer, but the more that you walk, the more pictures you have to show, the more chance you have to get selected, okay? Another thing that you can do is you can work on your social media presence. So either start a YouTube channel, or if you saw what Sakshi was doing, she was doing memes, right, on Instagram, and she had quite a lot of following and quite a lot of views. So they selected her just because she makes really interesting memes. So even if you're not like a big model or you don't have much work, if you have a good social media presence and you know how to interact with an audience, MTV might just select you, okay? So either do that, work on your portfolio and build as much work experience in acting, photo shoots, and ramp walk. Get an agency who can represent you and give you work, or start something interesting on social media or YouTube which you can show to MTV, okay? Somebody's asking me, is the entry for the show closed? The entry is not closed, but by now they're only taking models with some experience. So guys, if you know a friend who is, maybe part of the auditions or something, you could try to get a number or an email. But yes, the registration for the non-experienced models by this point are closed, but registrations are still running, okay? Someone's asking how to make a good impression in the first audition video. As I told you, smile, answer whatever questions they've given you confidently, and just give your 100%, okay? And I would suggest, if you're taking your audition video from home, take 2 or 3 videos, see which one is the best and most confident, and then send that, okay? So that's kind of a bonus. Now that there's COVID, you can film your audition videos as many times till you feel it's perfect, and then you can send that, okay? So it's not like you have to go to a meeting and you're meeting so many people and you're getting nervous, okay? Even if I heard that they're doing some auditions on the Zoom app with 5 or 6 people watching you, perfectly fine. You can sit, you can confidently speak on the phone. You speak on the phone, right? All the time to your mom, your dad, your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. So just be confident. It's a very, very easy thing, and just be yourself, give 100%, because this is such a great opportunity. Someone's asking, what if we're not comfortable with the swimsuit round? Okay, so there is no swimsuit round per se. There was one scene where we wore a bikini top and shorts by the swimming pool, and yeah, okay, we wore a bikini in the underwater task, but with like a big cape. So guys, honestly, I would say don't even get into modeling if you're not comfortable with wearing outfits that you've never worn before, because that's what modeling is about. And you can't really pick and choose, especially on a national TV show. You can't say, no, I don't want to do this, no, I'm not comfortable. If you're not comfortable, then why did you give the audition, okay? So to those of you watching, please be aware that you may have to wear a bikini, and honestly, you may have to do a bold photo shoot as well. So go with that mindset that yes, I'm aware this is going on. Because if you watch all the INTM shows, even the previous one, there was that shoot with Milan Soman in the fire. In ours, there was that piano shoot, and I was horrified because, you know, it wasn't INTM, so I thought maybe it's different. And I asked specifically in the meeting, I said, is there any bold photo shoot, because I'm not comfortable? And they said no. So on my part, I innocently didn't know. But you know, honestly, after being there, I can tell you mostly they will have some kind of a bold photo shoot, because it's a TV show and it's also somebody's entertainment, right? So don't step into the show if, you know, your parents are gonna get you in trouble, or if you just can't handle it, right? So be aware that you may have to wear outfits that you don't love, and that there may be some bold photo shoot, but honestly, nothing shady happens. It's just a lot of intimacy on a shoot, which maybe in the outside world we can say yes or no, but in a TV show, you've signed the contract on that show, and now you have to be there. So I didn't know that when I did the show, but now I'm telling you guys, yes, just be aware. And if you're walking in, go with an open mind and open eyes that yes, these things may happen, and I'm prepared for it to happen, okay? Someone's asking, is there any age requirement? It goes from, I think, 18 to 30, if I'm not mistaken. It's from like 18 or 19 years, and 30 is the age limit. So none of you guys have to be worried, you know, even if you're married, but you want to be in modeling, give it a shot, you know, even if you think, oh, I'm too young, give it a shot, because the opportunity is there, right? So just go for it. Someone is asking how many years of modeling experience are needed. I know that some of the girls were not experienced too much or at all. So, you know, again, just take that opportunity and see what happens. Make sure you're presentable, you have the photos and videos that they're looking for, and then be confident. Someone is asking about the clothes. Are they provided by MTV or by you? The designer outfits in the tasks, like the swimming pool task or the zip line task, those outfits are from designers. But if you notice, inside the model apartment and on the way to the tasks, as we're driving, as we're walking, those outfits are yours, okay? So all those shirts, jeans, chappals, tennis shoes that you saw in the show we were wearing, that was all our clothes, okay? So you do have to put together some things, but I would suggest don't spend too much. Try to borrow as much as you can from friends. And mostly they're looking for bright, colorful outfits which are going to show well on the camera, right? Because it's a show. So don't wear white, black, and all these boring stuff unless it's a cool chick piece. I'm saying don't go like totally monochrome, like don't go totally white or totally black. They want to see some color on you. They want to see some cute, trendy accessories. So carry chains, carry hoops, carry rings, carry some nail polish colors, because they were not doing that for us on the show. And carry your makeup. And I'm going to talk about all this in the next video of what you need on the show and what it's like to live inside the model apartment and have such a busy schedule, okay guys? So that's a video coming up very soon on the kind of clothes that you need, the kind of heels and everything that you need, as well as what life is like on Supermodel of the Year. So guys, thank you for watching this video. I hope it helped someone, and I hope you found it very, very interesting. And for those of you who are selected for the show, I'm wishing you all the very best. It's a lovely experience. Give your 100%, don't cry, and just rock it and enjoy it. That is the best thing you can carry away, is to enjoy it, to make friends, and to make wonderful memories. Okay guys, so thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more videos about modeling and the fashion industry on my channel. And I'm coming up with the second video on Supermodel of the Year very, very soon. So stay tuned, and that's all for now. Bye bye, stay home, stay safe, and stay healthy and well. Thank you for watching. Take care. Bye.